Race Central Unplugged podcast. Wow, that was a quick little countdown there, Kurt. This is episode 9. I'm your host, Sadiq Cora, right next to Motorsports Insider Kurt Hansen. Kurt, we are back with Unplugged after a 2-week tropical hiatus.
God. Yeah, you've been globetrotting for what seems like forever. And is it okay if we tell people?
Yeah, now that I'm not there.
Yeah, you were on assignment. You're working for the CBD or the CIA or the FBI. Yeah. I don't remember. Maybe the CBD.
I wish I was working for the CBD.
Woo-hoo! Whoa, Sid.
No, I was in Costa Rica, everyone. It was a great trip, but it has sadly come to an end. But I'm happy to be back. Glad to be back here talking motorsports and just back on the grind. But a lot has happened since I've been gone. And, 2 weeks worth of season starting up. What do we want to get? Let's just get right into it. The biggest thing we missed a few things while I was gone, but the biggest thing probably is the Busch Light Clash. Kurt, why don't you give us a rundown of that little event there?
The conflagration at the Coliseum. First of all, in Costa Rica, do you have to drive a lot or can you coast?
No, you have to drive a lot. And speaking of driving, we drove a lot because we didn't really stay. It wasn't like a resort vacation. It was we wanted to see the country, so we were driving. We ended up staying in like 9 different hotels, so we were driving all over the place. So
you were you were bushwhacking.
Yeah, no shortage of traveling and driving, and sort of got to see the whole country. So if you have any Costa Rica questions, I'm your gal.
That's wow. That's a lot to unpack right there. But I'll leave it at that. So Sid, great to have you back home. Dante did.
What are you going to say about Dante?
No, Dante did a good job, but he's not Sid the Kid. Who is?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Would you rather look for me? Would I rather look at Dante or you?
Hey, Dante's he does a good job.
He's a handsome man.
Shout out to Dante. Thanks for taking care of the show.
Yeah, the show was in good hands, but not the best hands. So you can never leave again.
Okay. All right.
Never.
All right.
Never.
Listen, perhaps the most I don't want to say important. It's not the most prominent, but the most exciting or just interesting events of the year, Busch Light Clash. Last year, we had a lot to say about it. What are we thinking this year? What did you think of it?
As a grizzled NASCAR fan and motor racing fan, I really liked the Clash last year. I think it was the right move. It drew an audience that, according to NASCAR numbers, almost 80% had never seen a NASCAR race, at least in person anyway, based on ticket sales. Middle of the day, a lot of bumping and grinding and grooving and moving and, tick tweaking and Facebooking and Twitter tweaking. And, I mean, it was a social media grand slam. And the event itself was really entertaining. I think I compared to what happened this past weekend, everybody seemed to play, even though it was really good, close racing last year, and there was a little bumping and banging. I mean, that's what are you going to do when you're racing inside a soup bowl?
Right. It's such a short track.
Yeah. But it seemed like this year it got pretty ugly. I'm wearing my Martin Truex Jr. hat again in honor of Martin winning at the Clash. But I did not think that it had anywhere near the same feel as last year. The crowd, albeit it was still a pretty big crowd, didn't look as big. The LA Coliseum is not a great part of town, by the way.
Right.
And having a night race, and I'll just leave it, not a great part of town, may have something to do with it. I don't know.
What about the vibe? It was a more violent race. Why do you think that is? The drivers more agitated? Was it a short off season?
Everybody is ready to go, and I think they're more used to the next gen car.
Yeah.
The composite bodies take a lot of beating and banging. It's not the old steel bodies or alloy bodies or whatever you want to call it. It just seemed super aggressive. And there were a lot of the drivers that expressed some pretty, they weren't happy. I'll just put it like that. I believe, more than a handful. I'm not going to rattle them all off by name, but said they felt like they were in a washing machine for 150 laps. They felt like they were in bumper cars.
Yeah.
That just seemed, and the common thread was too much beating and banging and a lot of disrespect. I think what happened last year
disrespect from driver to driver.
Yeah, like here I come, get out of my way, and I get it because Jeff Gordon. I don't know if he invented the chrome horn, but he certainly trademarked it.
And who
very aggressive.
Yeah. Okay. And him and who else did we notice a lot of aggression out of?
Everybody. And I got to tell you, Bubba Wallace did a great job. I got to tell you, if this is any indication to what Bubba could be this year,
yeah,
it's looking all thumbs up. Having said that, this is no indication of what's going to happen this year. This is a one-off exhibition race inside a soup bowl with a lot of guys looking for sponsor time and face time and get the year started on the right foot. Bubba Wallace, it didn't end up that way. It showed a picture of him in the car at the end of the race, and I swear it looked like a little kid that was about ready to say, I'm going to pack up my football and go home. Just a crybaby. It's kudos to Martin Truex. If in looking at the odds last Friday on the radio show, Martin Truex was anything but a favorite to win the Clash. Well, that was based on what he did last year. And I said many times in the program over the past year, Martin just doesn't look the same. He doesn't have the same aggression, the same posture. He just looked flat. Now, having said that, since I think you've been gone, he did announce that he's splitting up from what was going to be his lifetime partner after decades, Sherry Polonix. And you're too young to be married and divorced. I've been divorced, and I'm now way happily married of 22 years. Yeah. But divorce is brutal. And whether you're lifetime partners or you got a ring on it or you got a piece of paper, it's hard. And I'm not going to speak for Martin. I think the world of him. Yeah. We became good friends. But we saw it with Tom Brady this year. If you want to talk about stick and ball sports. It weighs on you like you can't imagine. And even when the separation becomes announced or real, how do you pack away 20 years worth of or more of being together and all that they've been through with Sherry's physical issues? And I did kind of sense it last year when we didn't really hear a lot about her or see her at the track. I had a feeling, which has now been confirmed, that her issues had come back, which they have. She's fighting them again now. But Martin said something at post-race that was very interesting. Well, take a step back, take two steps forward. He was nowhere near the favorite to win the Clash.
Right. He
was the fastest car from the minute they unloaded. Fastest in practice. On the pole. The dude, there needs to be, and I'm speaking from experience here, an inner fire. And I can remember as I was going through my divorce, the final year I was racing in the Toyota Atlantic Championship with Champ Car. It's hard to have that anger and that aggression and that focus and the synergy and all the things that need to happen to put your mind in a place that's very purposeful and solamente focused on the job at hand.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, if he was going through last year what I know I went through, it's hard to drive a damn race car. You can barely drive a nail in a snowbank. But Martin said post-race, he said, what's the biggest difference between what happened tonight and last season? He goes, I'm mad. You have to have
He's mad?
He's mad.
Because of how poorly he performed last year?
You nailed it, Sid. Exactly. Martin Truex is a champion. He should have been a two-time champion. The guy's been one of the best drivers in NASCAR over the past, 8-9 years.
Well, let's hope that he keeps that same energy.
I think he will. At least I hope he does. But you have to have and channel that anger to do this. I mean, this
right.
Driving a race car, and the Coliseum is not like you're cheating death for 150 laps. By the way, it took like 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, when Martin raced in the NASCAR North Series, they ran 150 lappers. They're over in 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said, I've run plenty of those races in that length of laps before, but it never took almost 3 hours.
Right.
I mean, this thing was caution, red flag, come out of a red flag, have another red flag. Everybody was just kind of playing up.
Kind of irritated.
They were riding dirty.
Yeah.
But I hope Martin can sustain this because he does see. What do you got, a dog in there or something?
No. It's probably the fridge, maybe.
The fridge is talking to you?
You got to stop clicking your pen. You're clicking the pen? Yeah. You're hearing my fridge and I'm hearing your pen.
So we're back in the studio with the ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the ghost came back last week and Dante flipped out.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay. All right. We don't want to bring bad spirits into this space.
No.
Okay.
Freaked the shit out of me.
Okay.
And him too.
All right.
So anyway, good for Martin.
Shout out to Martin Truex Jr.
Bubba Wallace pissed off.
Well, when isn't he pissed off?
Well, yeah, and Kyle Busch, pretty good run. He was pissed off. He dropped the plug.
What about Joey Logano? What happened to him?
Who?
Your favorite.
Actually, you know what? I'm kind of warming up to Joey. He had a tough night. I think,
Starboy.
When you see what happened, and hopefully you'll do your homework before Friday, a lot different race. I mean, but what was exciting, the good news is some of the youngsters put on a great show. Like I say, Bubba did a hell of a job. Martin did a great job. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Did the fans enjoy it? I don't know. But it didn't have the vibe it had last year. It felt like going to dance classes and nobody can get on the same step. It just felt
clunky.
Discombobulated. Yeah. It just had, it's like putting on stinky CBD stuff. You smell like, old Bad Bengay or Blue Emu or something. It didn't, I like the eyeball test, but it just didn't smell the same as last year. And I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a clash next year. Where it'll be, I don't know. But also a fun announcement that came out of the weekend. And by the way, Jimmy Johnson's teammate at Legacy, which is the old GMS, Richard Petty, Noah Gragson had a pretty damn good race. And he wasn't well liked in Xfinity because he hammered on everybody. And Ty Gibbs had a tough one. He had a big blow up in practice, damn near burned the thing to the ground. And he got beat around. I'm surprised Noah got away with a lot of stuff because I think if he pulls a Ross Chastain early in the season, the fellows are going to show him a different way to go. But Jimmy Johnson's going to do the Chicago race now. Why not? Also, the big announcement that Jimmy's going to, not maybe one of the worst kept secrets in the world, but he and Jenson Button and some other famous dudes are going to do the listen to me, the Le Mans 24-hour race in a Chevy. Makes sense. Jimmy's a Chevy guy.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a really exciting thing to watch because that's the twice around the clock that we do in the middle of the summer. So good stuff.
Right.
I liked the way it looked. It didn't have the same vibe. I don't think I fell asleep. I think I was sleeping, so I don't remember. But it did not get me up on the wheel. Or like they say in old school promoting at racetracks, we'll sell you the seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. That's your opinion. I know last year, maybe somebody else thought it was like the best thing ever.
I want to talk to that person.
Yeah. Okay. Let's call into the radio station if you thought that the Clash was.
Yeah, do that Friday, 303-844-3776. Sid will answer the phone.
Yeah.
And she'll give you Costa Rican cooking tips for free.
Yeah. Yeah. Typical food. That's what they call it in Costa Rica. Typical food.
Really?
Yeah, like their traditional food. You just say typical food. It's funny, but anyways, last year I know that we were, racing aside, we were excited about the Clash because of sort of the promotional aspect of it and sort of the vibe that NASCAR was setting for the season. What can you say about that? What do you think about that?
Well, they have work to do.
You didn't like Wiz Khalifa?
Yeah, what the hell's a Wiz Khalifa, by the way? I said to somebody in the bar, I said, it sounds like something you get penicillin shots for.
Well, it is a little, I think that's an interesting choice, Wiz Khalifa. Because he's not really known, he's not very popular for his music now. Although I'm not going to say anything bad about Wiz Khalifa because he's a great, he had an iconic album years ago, 2014. He's a Pittsburgh guy. But he's not very popular now. So you would think that
it certainly showed because nobody, when he was out there singing, nobody was moving and grooving and like they were Pitbull in last year.
Yeah,
they're just kind of standing there watching them.
Yeah, that's why it's just a little confusing because you'd think that you'd get an artist that is like kind of popping right now. That's what you want. So that's confusing. I want to hear why they went with him because he's a very niche type of artist. But so that's strange. That is strange.
Yeah, well, the niche weren't eating the quiche either because it just didn't fit, and I think that's where they missed the boat. Nothing felt congruent, and a lot of that was because of the racing, because you go in fits and starts. But when Pitbull was doing his thing last year, and was it Dr. Dre?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that place was. I mean, if you saw it from overhead from an airplane, the place was throbbing.
Yeah.
There was none of that this year. So we'll see how NASCAR spins. I don't get me wrong. I love NASCAR. I love watching the race. It did get a little boring with all the fits and starts, the halftime show. I mean, oh, God. That would have made a train take a dirt road.
Well, okay. So we'll have to see if the energy is the same throughout the season.
We got a long season to go.
Yeah.
The season. Oh, I just dropped my pen.
Thank God.
Can't take any notes, which I don't do anyway. But I think they'll wash their hands of this deal.
Yeah.
Last year they carried a lot of momentum into Daytona. I think they're just going to let this thing, kind of like sinking an old battleship to make an artificial reef. NASCAR's going to let this thing. No, they're going to let this thing sink to the bottom of the ocean and let fish swim around. Bless you. You didn't come home with any crud from Costa Rica, did you?
No.
The Costa Rican crud.
No.
Okay. We already had that.
You guys, we are going to take a short break here and come back for segment 2. Again, this is episode 9 of Race Central Unplugged. We come back, we're talking IndyCar. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these short messages.
Hey folks, Race Central host Kurt Hansen here. Welcome to the newest addition to Race Central Radio, TV, our events, and all the cool stuff we do. It's the audio-visual podcast produced by the ever-charming Sydney Cora. Hey, when it comes time to do commerce, support the people that support us. PDA Road Gear, the oldest radio shop in Denver. It's where all the pros go. They've got lifetime warranty. Also, for a limited time, get their super cool radar detector. Never pay for a speeding ticket again. They do it all. Don't trust me. I'm trying to sell you something. Contact Guy and his guys at pdaroadgear.com. Hey, Race Central fans. Host Kurt Hansen here. Hey, I know all of us gearheads, there's a couple things we really like to do. We like to party, like to go to the races, like to barbecue. We also like to drink. Hey, the number one place for all the fine beverages that you love to consume, confection foods, cigars, and oh, so much more. And the fastest pit stop anywhere here in the Rocky Mountains is Total Beverage. Go check them out. That's where I go. totalbev.com. It's totalbev.com.
All right, everyone. Welcome back into the Race Central Unplugged podcast. This is Race Central, where you can hear everything that you need to know about everything that's going on in the world of motor racing. Unplugged, unfiltered opinions, thoughts, words, everything that you really want to hear. You can hear it right here. Kurt, welcome back into the show. Let's get right into our first topic, IndyCar testing at Thermal. What are your thoughts?
Podcast do I go to get all this inside brilliant knowledge from Motorsport Insider? What was that address again?
A Race Central Unplugged.
Oh. I heard there's a hot chick on it, but who's the old guy?
That's Motorsports Insider Kurt Hansen.
Motorsports Outsider.
Yeah,
Kurt Hansen.
Yeah, he's an outsider.
What do they call it in Costa Rica? Average food?
Typical. He's typical.
I like that.
Yeah.
What type of vegan typical bill of fare will you have on Friday?
Oh, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, just deliciousness like potatoes, rice, beef.
And that green goo you drink?
Yeah, I had tons of like smoothie bowls. There's like tons of fruit down there. I had some Caribbean food, like a bunch of coconut. They use a lot of coconut and everything in the Caribbean food. Coconut curry, like sauces. Just good. I ate good down there. Let me tell you. Yeah, I miss it. Yeah.
Did you see the pictures I sent you for your attire for February 19th Podium Karting and Event Center, the Daytona 500 Party, second annual Bash After the Clash? Have you picked out your attire?
I have not picked it out, but I will figure it out. It doesn't take me long to pick out an outfit.
You always look great. Did you see the pictures I sent you?
I did.
Yeah.
And,
Does that fit in the Sydney program?
I mean, it's a little old. I mean, it's just, I wouldn't wear that, but I mean, I get it.
You can it's like this podcast. You can take bits and pieces of brilliance to make you a smarter and better motorsports fan like RaceCentralMedia.com. Okay, so Thermal.
Yes, Thermal.
Yeah, outside of Palm Springs. Neat private country club track. IndyCar goes there for Media Day. I was slated to go, but came back from Phoenix with the nasty crud. So decided to stick around at home as we get ready to relaunch our Phoenix radio program, which will be very exciting. I can't wait to announce all that. Plus, we did just recently launch on another new global digital streaming service. There'll be a press release coming about that, and then a really big deal coming up, and there'll be a presser about that. So keep track of us, Facebook/Kurt Hansen or RaceCentralMedia.com. Listen to the podcast. Listen to the Friday show on ESPN Denver, AM 1600, or streaming around the country, around the globe at RaceCentralMedia.com. But it's going to be a good year, Sid. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, test at Thermal went really well. The drivers loved it. And what's wrong with being in the Palm Springs desert, the high desert in Southern California at this time of the year? And, by the way, you missed all the -7 and 0 temperatures.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about that, young lady. Test went really good. Colton Herta was really fast. Everybody seemed to get up to speed very quickly. And it was just a really good test. There was no crashes, no blow-ups. I mean, nothing to which is the neat thing about Thermal. Even if you have a miscue and you run off the road, it's all perfectly groomed because it's a country club track. So they don't want Joe Rich Dude, this $1 million, Ferrari going off the road and, destroying it. Yeah. So it's all graded and smooth or pea gravel. And you can really push the car around there. And the guys really enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun. Very safe place to really push the car, see what it's going to do. A lot of new liveries. Some say tomato, some say tomato. But everybody was fast. There was nobody that wasn't like the fast guys and then everybody else. It's
looking good.
Everybody's looking good, and that's really exciting for the season opener at St. Pete. Colton Herta was the fastest I know on day one. Second day, I got to get that Prevagen sponsorship fired up. I forget who was fastest on day two. Actually, I believe it was another Andretti car, if memory serves me correct. So,
okay.
After the rotten season Andretti Autosports had last year, this wasn't the Clash, but it was the mini Clash, but it was not a race, and it wasn't 36 cars on track at the same time. But I look forward, I think, to Andretti having a better year this year. There's no reason why they shouldn't. They've still got the big project with Formula One, with Cadillac. Now Ford comes. I talked about it last week in the show. Cadillac and Andretti have a lot of work to do because the FIA and Formula One have to approve their whole deal. With Ford now announcing that it's going back to Formula One in 2026, they have a backdoor, pardon the pun, way in because they're going to be the new power plant in the Red Bull. So Honda goes out, the super powerful, reliable RB, whatever the hell they call it, power plant. Ford goes in. They still have a lot of work to do. Ford's been out of Formula One for a long time, and it'll be a turbo power plant. It's a lot of work to do, but I guarantee, I shouldn't say guarantee, but I'm pretty smart, that what pushed Ford to make this deal happen was Cadillac / GMC / Chevrolet / and Andretti going to Formula One because Ford is not going to be outdone by the bow tie and not be in Formula One if Ford is the blue oval. So it's kind of exciting. A lot of work to be done on both sides. Andretti's deal is not even approved yet. There's still a lot of bantering going on. The Red Bull deal is pretty easy. Red Bull just announces we're going to have a Ford 2026. There's really nothing the FIA and Formula One can do about it because it's like when they dumped Renault and brought Honda, it's like Renault's history. See you later. Au revoir. Au revoir. Vichy soir. Au revoir. Ciao, ciao, ciao. That's Italian. But the Renault went away, and Dom Arigato, here comes the Honda. Now it's going to be all you want support with those beans, or whatever the hell. Well, I better be careful. Whatever the hell they eat in Detroit at Ford. But
Detroit pizza. They eat pizza in Detroit, right? Detroit style pizza.
Peace out. Pizza, or whatever. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun this year.
That's exciting.
I'm finally over this crud. I feel really great. I look marvelous.
Yeah.
You look marvelous.
Yeah.
And I think, Sid, I think we're kind of a done deal.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for getting us caught up on everything. If anyone else was out for 2 weeks, I hope that that was a good synopsis kind of, or a breakdown of everything that at least I miss being in a different country.
Never again. I'm going to lock you. I'm going to put an ankle bracelet on you.
Yeah. Okay.
And be sure, if you're watching us anywhere in Colorado, the Denver Metro, Podium Karting Event Center, February 19th. It's all free. We've got a $5,000 watch we're going to be raffling off, a whole bunch of cool stuff from our friends, Lawless Allen, the number 45 truck in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series this year. We've got a ton of really cool stuff. And be there. It's all free. We have 3 of the top young female drivers from Colorado that are going to be there signing hero cards and stuff. These girls are super talented. It's going to be, and we're probably 500-600 people. I guarantee we're going to attend. First 100 in the door get discounted karting and axe throwing. I call it axes for X's. You don't like that? Axes for X's?
That's funny.
Yeah, I can tell by your robust laughter.
Dads, bring your daughters. That's a cool thing to do with your daughter too.
Right.
Yeah.
You threw last year. Did you hit anything? Did you make it work?
Oh yeah. I'm good at that.
I thought you did kill it.
Oh yeah, I killed it. Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen. So I'm Sid the Kid's like enforcer, but this girl can throw an axe. So
So watch out.
Watch out.
Okay, everyone, listen, tune in this Friday on ESPN Denver 1600 from 3 to 5. It's The Drive. It's Race Central on the radio. And, of course, you can listen to this podcast at Race Central Unplugged on YouTube. Of course, we share it everywhere wherever you're watching it right now. But if you're recommending it to someone, that's Race Central Unplugged on YouTube, and also racecentral.com, racecentralmedia.com.
Yeah, go to the website. And you can stream the radio show on Friday on the website. Mm-hmm. And if you have a comment, what I've seen so far has been disastrous. So, no, just kidding. If you have a comment, tweet us. You can tweet us at Race Central on Twitter, or send me, a message on Facebook, or fly a plane over my house and drop a bomb on it, or I don't know what the hell you want to do.
Yeah,
just don't really care.
Yeah, just bomb us.
Just photo bomb us.
Yeah. All right. Okay, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Bye, Sid.